just in the backyard today. Now this little mini was set up to mate one of those tiger stripe queens, and they're just getting a bit congested, a bit chocked out with honey, so I'm going to convert this one into one of my homemade nuke boxes. My homemade ones are just a bit bigger. They're probably twice the size internally, and they've got up to 5 combs in them, 5 or 6 combs depending on whether I've got a feeder in them. So I've taken that tiger stripe queen out and put a queen cell in here about a week ago. So there's a virgin queen in here somewhere. It's not ideal to be messing with them while there's a virgin queen in here, but I've just got an opportunity to do this today, so I'll do it today. So I've got 2 drawn combs in there from other hives. There's no brood or honey or anything in these 2 combs. And I've got a feeder in there at the back. And I've got that pinned to the wall with a nail just so it doesn't lean forward against that comb. So you can see here there's quite a bit of honey in this little mini and quite a few bees. It's a little bit of a honey flow on here, so I'll get these bees to just build a bit more comb rather than just sitting there all chocked out with honey. So the way I do this is I've got them to build these combs on a piece of paper straw, for those that haven't seen this before. So this little comb is attached to a paper straw. You see the brood there? That's from the previous queen, and a lot of honey in the top half of the frame. I've also been feeding these a bit too. So all I do is put this longer skewer stick in here through the straw, and that allows me to hang this little comb in my box, my homemade box, which is wider. So now I've got an active comb with brood on it in my box to start off a new hive. I just find these little 3-frame commercial mini, they're just not a viable colony in the long term. With my homemade one, I can leave the queen in there a lot longer. So this little comb was put in here later, and it's not as well built out, but it's still got a little patch of brood and a bit of honey. It's actually the ideal time to transfer it over. So I'm keeping these combs in the same order as they were. Yeah, with my homemade ones, they're just a bit bigger, so I can leave the queens in there a lot longer, and I can actually run these right through the winter. Which is handy just to save the equipment and or save the comb material and have active mating nukes coming out into the new season. So this third one, they've actually chewed away the paper straw quite a bit, so I'm not going to be able to just slip it through onto a longer stick, so I'm just going to clip it to a long stick with a couple of little pieces of wire. So I haven't spotted the queen at this stage, so I'm just being really careful not to crush any bees and also not get them stirred up. if you get them all riled up, they might turn on the queen. You can see there quite a bit of honey in this one as well, and just a bit of capped brood. So I've got the longest stick there. I'm just going to twitch a little bit of tie wire around the two sticks. Once the comb's properly built out, I might be able to remove the wire, or it may just stay there anyway. But I definitely want to try and save this comb rather than just scrapping it. So once this sticks in there, then all I need to do is get the rest of the bees into the new box, including the queen. So I'm just looking for the queen now. Oh, here's the plastic cell cup that I used for this latest queen. You can see there it hatched out nicely, so this is my queen that I've grafted in here somewhere. Now if you watch closely, you might catch a glimpse of her. She's in the bottom right hand corner as I hold the box up to the camera. In the sunlight there now. There. So the tricky part about this is I've got a few gum nuts in the feeder, as I put them in there because they float and help stop the bees from drowning. But I don't want to tip them into the new hive, so I'm just going to try and tip those out of there without tipping too many bees out. So I give the box a bit of a tap. Some of the bees came out. The queen's still in there running around. But I just held the corner of the box there and she ended up running down into the new box. So at this point she's in the new box. So I just tapped the rest of the bees out. And you can see they're already using the entrance to the new box. So I'm pretty confident this is going to go well. So this is that other drawn comb that I've got from another hive, just to give them a bit of a helping hand. And I'll just give them a little bit of feed. Just about half the feeder, just because they've got a bit of comb to build and repair. And here I'm just scraping off a bit of the burr comb across the top of that comb, just so the lid sits down nice and flat. And that's that done. So I'll just set the camera here for a little bit, and it's just to illustrate how many bees were in the air and watch them come back into the new hive.